Are we rolling? I think we're rolling. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. The camera cut out on me, but that's okay. You know, I probably left you hanging long enough, right? So what am I talking about? What, investing my money with AMD. Well, at least, you know, I don't have to worry about Spectre meltdown, right? And, you know, there's, come on, look what AMD is doing these days with their PCIe. You know what? Intel couldn't even bring you PCIe Gen 4. Alright? AMD's bringing that to you on their motherboards now. Okay? Anyway, so, way to go AMD. That's all I can say. You know, and that's coming from a guy who was like an Intel fanboy for almost 2 decades. Thumbs up AMD. Way to go AMD. Good job. Good job. Alright, so saying that, and also talking about the Sapphire, being a Sapphire user for, I think it's about 12 years now. Pretty close. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in that area. Okay? Could be wrong. Maybe, like, I think I got like one of the first Sapphire cards that ever came out, but I could be wrong on that count too, you know. But Sapphire has never let me down. Okay? So guess what? Guess what I'm going to put in this thing? Are you ready? I know this is going to be face palm for some of you. That's it. The NITRO Radeon RX590. Can you imagine that? On a little Intel dual-core processor chip. I need to test it, people. So I'm going to put it in my daughter's computer. I'm going to put it in my daughter's computer because I'm not pulling out my GTX 1070 off from my workstation because, I mean, it's just going to make a mess of things. There's too many wires and everything you mess with. And, you know, the old story, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So, but I need to test this because this is going to be part of my gamer build. Now, you know what? You know what's really funny? Is I have built lots of gamer units. Okay, gamer PCs. But I've never built one for myself. I've never actually built an exclusive gamer PC for myself. So this is what's going in it. And I know there's the latest, you know, Ryzen stuff going on there and all that. Well, that's fine. You know, I'm not usually an early adopter, but I may make an exception here this time because of the PCIe Gen 4 that AMD made possible, brought to you by AMD Gen 4, okay, to the end user. You know, it's been around, right, but not for the domestic end user. But AMD has brought it to us, the domestic end user, and all I can do is give AMD the thumbs up for that. And people will say, well, what do you care? You know, they only use it for NVMe. Like, we're stuck in the present, stuck in the here and now. Like, they're not going to be in the next year or so using that bandwidth. Like, the argument is bandwidth, people. You know, check it out. Twice the bandwidth with Gen 4, I think, is something worth looking into. All right, so this is an unboxing. See that? That's a seal. This has never been opened. This has not been opened. This is a Sapphire NITRO Radeon RX590 Special Edition. See that? Special Edition. And, you know, the 580 is nice, but this thing kicks. Well, so does the 580. Don't get me wrong. So, in the good old-fashioned dumpster diver tradition, I don't need a box cutter. All I need is a razor blade, right? I am going to cut this thing open, and I'm just going to show it to you. Because, pardon me, it used to be worth a lot of money. It's still worth a lot of money. But I managed to get it at a pretty good price on Amazon. So, here we are. This is my unboxing. I could read some of the features, I guess. You know, Sapphire NITRO Radeon, or NITRO Plus Radeon, RX590 graphics card. A lot of people said it's a repackaging. Don't buy it. Check what Wendell says about it, okay? check Wendell's video on the RX590 Sapphire card. If you think all it is a repackaging, okay, because it's not. Enhanced dual X cooling, dual ball bearing fans, black diamond chokes version 4, NITRO quick connect fans, NITRO fan check and service, NITRO intelligent fan control 3, NITRO glow RGB LED indicators. I'm not big on the RGB, I gotta be honest, okay? But I'm going to have to go with that with my gaming build because there's really no way of getting around it these days. If you're going to build a gaming rig, you're going to go with RGB because there's very little out there that does not use RGB anymore. BR ready, dual UEFI, I like that, dual settings for boost or silent. Robust VRM cooling, and comparable with AMD and Intel platforms. Okay, alright, compatible, pardon me, compatible. Well, yeah, you want that. Okay, I'm going to read on the back of the box what they say about this particular graphics card. Designed from ground up and with the best industry expertise, we've crammed in everything you need and left out everything you don't to maximize the gaming experience for your budget expectations. See, once again, Sapphire cards are budget cards, but they're cream of the top budget cards. They're very good cards, okay? The Sapphire Nitro Gaming Series boasts a range of features previously reserved for high-end cards, including long-life capacitors, award-winning black diamond chokes, sleek design, supreme heat dissipation, minimum noise, and maximum reliability, as well as our award-winning cooling solutions. Its sleek, elegant contours have been designed to suit any build, and the latest Polaris graphics architecture from AMD ensures speed, power, and reliability. Performance tuned for everything from 4K gaming, virtual reality, and let's not forget the class-leading DirectX 12 performance. So whatever kind of gamer you are, the Sapphire Nitro Gaming Series offers you the maximum gaming experience for your budget and expectations. Now I gotta be honest, I'm not much of a gamer, okay? My girls game, my wife games, but you know, that's not my point. My point is I've never built one for myself. That's my point, and I want to build one for myself. But I'm going to let my daughter test drive it for me. I'm going to let her use it with her little dual core and see how she likes it. You know, my little 8-year-old, okay? Because, you know, I find that when I want to acid test stuff, the best way to really acid test is put it right out there, you know? And let the kids run it. Man, if it can survive the children, it's a good product. Okay, all right, so, yeah, AMD Liquid BR technology, AMD Crossfire technology. You know, I've never understood Crossfire. I think it's such a waste of money, especially today now with what they're doing with graphics cards. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, but I really think Crossfire, SLI, that kind of thing is a thing of the past. Alright, anyway, FreeSync technology. See, now this is what I'm a little bit kind of concerned about with the FreeSync technology is I like to use Linux, and I may want to put Linux on my gaming rigs. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I know that Wendell said in his review at the time that you could not run Linux on the 590, okay? But I suppose some of you want to just have a look at the card, right? And you know, quit the glitz here. So it's a metallic blue shroud, blue LED fans, intelligent fan control. Well, you know, they pretty much all are these days. But well, here's the certification that I get. See, it's an unboxing, right? So. Manufacturer, Sapphire Technology, Dynamic Blue EK. Oh, representative in Germany. Well, how about that? From Germany. Well, I will take no offense to that. That's good to know. And a pretty extensive little booklet here. I guess that's just because it's so many different languages, right? Quick installation guide. Well, handy if you haven't done it before, but if you know what you're doing. Oh, here's something a little on the rare side. Installation disc. A disc. I'll probably get the drivers and all that online. Nowadays, you know what they're doing. They're giving you that on a USB stick. So yes, you can tell that I'm not being an early adopter here. And normally I don't recommend early adoption, but I'm having a little bit of a toss-up here because that PCIe Gen 4 is so tantalizing, so tempting. And I'll get on about that Gen 4 stuff in another video. Like, I realize there's so much stuff that I can share. I do have volumes of knowledge that I can share with you as an enthusiast, as a user. And, you know, yeah, it's a bit of facade, the dumpster diver thing, but hey, it works for me. I live in redneck country anyway, you know, and I'm kind of like the old grandpa kind of guy, and, you know, what do I know about computers and all that? But anyway, so here it is. Here it is. And if you think I ramble on and on, you better go check out Buildzoid's channel on YouTube. Love that kid. Straight shooter. Love that kid all the way. You know, I hope he's back from Czechoslovakia because I really enjoy watching his videos. Hey, stay informed. You want to know about GPUs. You want to know about, I mean, the real core of circuitry on motherboards, GPUs, things like this. Watch Buildzoid's channel. The kid knows his stuff. Alright. Okay, there we are. No, there's no plugs for me on that either. This isn't that sweet? Isn't that a sweet looking card? No, honestly, tell me. Is that not nice? I suppose it's ugly if you don't like blue. You know, do you know you can get this shroud in gold? There's a 50th anniversary. You pay a little bit more for it, not much, a few bucks more, and you can get it in gold. All right, but I'm going with a blue theme, so I like blue. I'm not all hung up on RGB like other people, and sapphires are blue people. Anyway, there you are. That's her. That is a sweet looking card. I'll turn it here. You can have a look at it. Some awesome cooling. Awesome cooling. I don't know how blurry this is. I don't know what the camera's doing. Like I said, I'm an amateur. That is going to go into here with a little dual-core processor chip. It doesn't bother me. It's going to be something for my little girl to test drive and play around with until which time, you know, I get on with my build. Now, my problem with my build is I'm in a dilemma. I like the whole 570 deal with the PCIe Generation 4. I greatly dislike chipsets that are cooled with integrated fans, like fans that are fans you can't even pull out yourself, people. Fans that are embedded right over the chipset. It's not a good idea. It's been done before, and people had been the recipients of so many failures, and their boards baked because their fan failed. It's not a good idea. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. And you talk to any of the old timers who know about the days when, you know, they would do fan cooling like that built into the motherboard. It was a bad idea because the boards would die when the fan died. Okay? And then you'd have to get the chipset replaced. Like, I don't know who came up with this idea, but you know what they say about those who forget history, right? The only manufacturer that I know of so far that has gone with passive cooling is Gigabyte. But it's $1,000 for me to buy that board. I mean, that's a little... I mean, yeah, I wanted to build myself a gamer. And not the latest, greatest, because I don't have $20,000 to build a latest, greatest, very best gamer computer. But I want to build a half-decent one, right? And if you want a half-decent system, you know, I would probably recommend something in the lines of an RX580 or an RX570 or you know, a Sapphire graphics card, because they're good little cards. Nope, not it's not Navi, it's not the latest greatest thing. You're rarely going to need it anyway. Okay, but anyway, I digress. Half decent, I said. You know, maybe a little bit more than half decent, maybe, you know, above average. Above average works for me. Above average is good enough, right? But I really like that PCIe Generation 4. It makes so much more sense. I mean, come on, double the bandwidth. Come on, people. You know, it's not just going to be limited to, you know, hey, this is really good if I want to run NVMe in RAID 0 or RAID 10 or whatever, right? It's future-proofing, because you have all that bandwidth. You're going to be able to give the rest of your system a bit of a break, all right? And you know, you may not just be using it on PCIe. You know, you may be using, you know, your SATA might get a bit of a break because of that extra bandwidth. All the way around, it's a win-all situation. And you know, that's why. And you know, I mean, you know, I think some of you know anyway, the USB 4.0 is right on the horizon. Okay, so yeah, there's a good reason to go with PCIe Gen 4, and there's going to be more and more. I mean, we all know that the next thing will be, you know, GPUs like this one, okay? GPUs like this one, and this thing's good sized GPU. This is a honking big. This is a computer, man. I mean, this thing is the size of my 1070. Seriously, this is at least the same size as my 1070. So, but what I do like about it is it's not cheap shroud. It's not cheap. It's like pretty solid. It's yeah. Anyway, you know, some of them are really cheap. What's the point of even having a shroud? Like, anyway, if you're gonna make it that cheap. You know that they're going to make cards like graphics cards that are going to use PCIe Gen 4. So if you're in a position to buy a brand new motherboard, like I'm playing with here, I'm in that, you know, state, right? Why would you not want to get that? Yeah, as Buildzoid, I think, pointed out on one of his channels, well, you're going to have to pay an extra $80 to get that. Yeah, but you know what? That extra $80 might be worth it in the long run. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand all the rebuttals to future-proofing, but I also understand the arguments to future-proofing. And $80 might be one of the best future-proofing investments you could make when it comes to PCIe. Because after this, guys, it's going to be all Gen 4. And, I mean, why would they want to fall back on Gen 3? You know, I mean, and why would you want to fall back on half the bandwidth is beyond me. You know, and a lot of you are going to want to, if you haven't already, move over to NVMe. And NVMe definitely benefits from PCIe Gen 4 right now, even as we speak. So, that's a hard one to turn away from. But the hard one to meet is fans on the motherboard, right over top the chipset, that are embedded. You don't have a choice. You don't get to pull it. If the fan starts to fail, oh well, right? You know, send the whole thing back in, I guess, the whole motherboard, right? Like, dumb people. And dumb because you didn't even check your history. You didn't realize this has already been tried and tested, and it failed. So why do it again? I mean, really, you know, I mean, are you that low that you're going to reach for obsolescence so that you can make more money when the motherboards fail? Is that what the real motive behind this is? Where was the thinking? Were you sabotaging your own design? Because, you know what? They're all doing it. ASUS is doing it. Gigabyte's doing it. MSI is doing it. They're all doing it. And it's like, wow. You know, great motherboards. And yeah, I understand the argument, the need for more cooling, because there's, you know, everything has a price. PCIe Gen 4 is definitely going to heat things up, right? It's going to bring up your thermals. There are ways around that, people. You could make a little thing like what you see here. You see right here on the back of this? And see that one column? And you see this heat pipe? This heat pipe here? You could use one of these little tiny heat sinks. Like there's a number of them in this one. All you would need is one. I don't know if you could see inside here how there's one column. Okay? It's relatively small. It's not that big. You would need no more than that and a heat pipe, and it would keep that chipset nice and cool. All right. But as one friend said to me, it's a lot cheaper to make fans. Well, that depends. If it's cheaper to make a fan with moving parts and winding coil and all that stuff, you know, and the bearings or the non-bearings or whatever, if it's cheaper to make a fan, how cheap do you think the fan is? Okay, because a good fan is pricey. A really good fan. Okay? So we already know that they're using garbage fans. Right? Passive cooling is the way. Motherboard manufacturers need to put passive cooling on their chipsets if that's such an issue. Gigabyte already did it by connecting their cooling solution for their VRM, their heatsink, bridged it right to the cooling system for their chipset and the CPU together, okay, or the VRM. All right. So if they can bridge the cooling solution for their VRM to the cooling solution for their chipset, make it all one massive heatsink, okay, and still go with passive cooling that way, there's no reason why we couldn't do the same thing. And if you can take one of these little puppies here that you see here, okay, I'd have to probably remove the shroud to show you, but it's just a single column, all right, and stand it upright, you know, like perpendicular over top the motherboard. In fact, I remember watching a video with Buildzoid. He had the same idea. Smart kid. Okay, watch Buildzoid stuff. Anyway, he had the same idea. I think we both pretty much had the same idea about the same time. You know, I don't know who had it first, and you know, I'm not going to get into a game of wars over this. You know, if it's his idea, it's his idea. Mine might be a little bit different because I was thinking also, those little micro mini fans that ASUS likes to use sometimes in their thermal armor and stuff like that, you could connect those right onto the cooling, the perpendicular vertical cooling tower, like the way the old M.2 sticks used to stand right up. Okay, you could put optional fans on that. It's a way better deal because at least then, if there's a fan failure, it can be replaced. It can be replaced, and you have a heat sink to save your chipset before it bakes on you because of the embedded fan. There is no embedded fan here. The fans can be removed, replaced, you're good to go. Plus you've got like a safety, you know, you've got an actual heat sink right over the chipset to at least reduce some of the heat so that it can at least throttle down and, you know, your system can save itself. Anyway, this is one of my concerns about the architecture of the new 570 boards, the what are they called, RX570s. I can't remember the name of it. I'm a little old here, I guess, and I'll blame it on that. But I mean, I love it. I love the whole idea, the new idea with PCIe 4, but I really don't like the idea of those fixed fans over top the chipset. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of computer enthusiasts that know about that, okay? Something needs to be done. I've actually contacted the CIO's department, CEO of ASUS's department, and sent an email, well, to Mr. Kim D. And we have corresponded about this, and there's another gentleman who has got back to me in production, and I'm going to share some of what I think would be a good idea with this new architecture, because it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. And when you see embedded fans over top a chipset, do you know what it's like a gold ring and a pig's snout. You don't want, you remove that pig's snout, leave the gold ring, okay? Because you don't need garbage like that, cheap solutions like that, crappy solutions like that on such a beautiful board. It hurts me. It's just like, it's such a waste. It's like somebody made this beautiful replica, this beautiful work of art, and then at the very end of it, they just horked a big booger and horked it over top the painting, you know, just spat a big greenie right on the painting, you know, just ruined it, you know. And this is why I'm reluctant to buy any 570 motherboards, because of this issue here. It's just like, it's going back, given my history, given my experience with motherboards, given what I know about motherboards, this is a bad idea. And I have some really good ideas for this series of motherboards, and I would like to share. That's not all, but you know, I'm not going to give them in this video right now. I would like to see if they're going to, if ASUS has enough vision to take my suggestions seriously, because it's a win-win deal. The client wins, ASUS wins, and I'm really onto something. But you know, I'm going to keep it secret, of course. But I'll be sharing that with the production at ASUS at some point. Anyway, I digress. I take your time with these long videos. I did my unboxing. I'm going to put this honkin' Sapphire graphics card in my little girl's dual core CPU based platform here, the ASUS Z97P. and we're going to see where it goes. I'm not going to register it on this thing. I'm you know, or anything like that. But I'm in the process of building it. So, you know, I may just go with the 470 and, you know, give up on the PCIe 4, and that really just breaks my heart, you know, because I would really like to have that Gen 4, but boy, I'll tell you, it sticks in my craw. It really just sticks in my craw. All these beautiful motherboards they've come out with, and they actually think they can get away with a fan on them. Is that fan guaranteed for 10 years? I want to know. ASUS, MSI, are you going to guarantee that fan over top that chipset for 10 years? I want to know, because I can make a motherboard last 10 years easy. Easy. See, that's what I want to know. Is this some kind of planned obsolescence? Because I'll tell you, not very many fans will last 10 years. Alright? I just want to leave that with you for now. Something needs to be done about this. This is bad architecture. This is terrible. This is like a brand new, nice, you know when the cement guy makes that really, really nice laid out foundation, and it's smooth as a baby's bottom, and then some dogs and some vandals come along and right through all that. That's what you did. That's what all of you did. Gigabyte, ASUS, MSI, that's what you all did to your motherboards by putting those fans over top the chipsets when you could have been smart. You could have given us quality. You could have given us nice passive cooling over top those chipsets that would have done well. And don't say you couldn't have, because it's already been proven it's been done. All right? Okay. Anyway, listen, people, I'm sorry for wasting your time if I did. And thanks for listening to me. And once again, you know, like, I don't monetize. You know, I'm not getting any money from this. So I like the liberty of speaking my mind. And maybe, you know, passing on some warnings to you that you may or may not know about, you know, in the computer realm and life itself, you know, whatever. And I'm in my 60s, and I feel like I have something to contribute to my community at large. I'm not dead yet, you know, and yeah, there are a few of us old-timers out there that still appreciate technology. So there you go, and thank you for listening, and I'll walk on over and turn off my camera, but this is probably going to be the last Sapphire I ever buy for myself, and I'm just really impressed. You know, I'm a Sapphire guy. I could go on about Sapphire. It's always worked for me, you know, and hey, that's the thing. If it always works, that's the thing to get. So there it is, the special edition Sapphire. Thanks again for watching. God bless you.